Hold on, did Kirk Frost and young Jock just get caught up in the most spectacular scandal of the year? You're not prepared for this one, people. A shocking video has leaked, and guess what? These two reality TV stars are now in custody following a vicious fight that left everyone wondering about everything they know about reality TV. But wait, there's more. You thought this fight was real, but again, the producers and networks were manipulating the entire situation to increase the show's ratings. The best part is that former cast member Benzano is adding gasoline to this flaming dumpster of drama by threatening to release old footage that could ruin the show's reputation and show how far the producers will go to create chaos for a paycheck. Now, the question is whether Kirk Frost and young Jock will ever recover from this PR crisis, or if their reputation has been permanently destroyed. You won't believe the dark, dirty details we're about to reveal, so buckle up because this is going to be crazy. Okay, people, let's set the scene. They have been in the news for years, but this time it's not the typical love triangle or baby mama drama. Oh no, this time it's much darker, and the plot is thickening faster than you can say ratings boost. Here's the deal. Kirk Frost and young Jock, both well-known reality TV stars, have allegedly been arrested after a violent fight that was leaked on social media. What's the real story here? Was this a real confrontation between two former, here's where it gets juicy? Hold on tight, because this story goes far beyond what you see on TV. If you know anything about Kirk and Jock, you know that their history isn't exactly spotless. Kirk Frost, oh boy, don't get me started on him. If the name of this man doesn't immediately conjure up images of drama and chaos, I don't know what will. From cheating scandals to DNA tests to his complicated love life with Rashida, that has been through it all. Young Jock, on the other hand, isn't far behind, known for his flamboyant demeanor and smooth-talking ways. Controversy himself. Recall that whole hair situation. Let's just say that these two know how to keep the tabloids buzzing. But what happened here was not your average reality TV meltdown, nor was it a drunken tirade or petty argument that could be resolved with a heart-to-heart. No, this was something big, and it wasn't just a coincidence that it happened at the ideal moment for the show's ratings. Now, if you're thinking, there's no way this fight was real, you're not alone. The catch is that this wasn't some wild outburst that caught everyone off guard. Rather, it was a stage spectacle that was planned by no one else. Then the show's producers, that's right, people, are the true masterminds behind this whole mess. They realize that ratings are everything, something that most reality shows either don't care to acknowledge or just pretend doesn't exist. When your show starts to wane, you do the most dramatic and shocking thing you can think of. You get your stars to fight, you get them to blow up on camera, you create a mess so big that the entire world can't look away, and presto, you have some prime-time drama that will keep the audience riveted. The producers put Kirk Frost and young Jock in a room, told them to act like things were out of control, and then pushed them over the edge. And guess what worked? The cameras were rolling, the tension was high, and the fight was wild. But the problem is that it wasn't a real fight. These guys were acting it out for the show. As soon as that video appeared on social media, it went viral. People were shocked, horrified, and convinced that these two men were actually going to be put in jail for what they had just done. The commotion surrounding the fight was so intense that everyone was left wondering what the hell had happened. But behind the chaos, the producers were laughing uncontrollably, and the network was celebrating the controversy they had so carefully planned. However, the public didn't realize it was a fake, and that's when things started to get out of hand. The Love and Hip Hop franchise was about to face one of its biggest scandals ever after Frost and young Jock were arrested. However, as is always the case with reality TV, things are never as simple as they seem. It was no typical fight. Rather, it was a well-planned move to keep the drama going. This is where the real trouble starts. While the producers were congratulating one another for creating this mess, they forgot one important detail: Benzano. You remember Benzano? Well, he wasn't just sitting idly by while all of this was happening. No, he had a plan of his own. Benzano was allegedly prepared to release old footage that would reveal all of the show's manipulative tactics and how the producers were behind the fight, pushing Kirk Frost and young Jock to the brink, knowing exactly what would happen once the cameras started rolling. This footage would ruin the reputation of not just Kirk and Jock, but the entire Love and Hip Hop empire, and in an instant, The drama was no longer limited to the TV screen. It was about to spill into the real world. With Benzano threatening to drop, let's take a deep dive into the fallout from the entire Kirk Frost and young Jock debacle. As we already know, the fake fight between these two former friends that was supposed to be a ratings booster has completely backfired, but what the producers didn't anticipate was Benzano playing his own game. These bombshells and the internet, already ablaze with rumors and speculation, set the stage for a scandal of epic proportions. But wait, we're not done yet, because what happens next could be even more explosive than you can imagine. As we've discussed, Benzano, the former reality TV troublemaker, had had enough of being marginalized and wasn't going to sit back and watch the producers make a mockery of the entire show based on highly dubious anonymous sources, because, in the world of fake news, everyone has a source. Benzano knew exactly what was going on behind the scenes and how the producers had manipulated Kirk Frost and young Jock into this fight for the sake of ratings, and he wasn't having any of it. This was not just some on-the-fly drama for the cameras. It was strategic manipulation meant to make the audience believe in the authenticity of these supposed beefs. Can you imagine the chaos this caused when the rumors began to circulate? It was claimed that Benzo had footage so scandalous that it would rock the show's foundation and expose the producers for the puppeteers. It was actually old footage of manipulated situations, fake confrontations, and, more importantly, the truth about how the producers had orchestrated the entire mess. Jock believed it to be true, but now Benzo was threatening to release these explosive tapes that would reveal the truth completely. You can only imagine how the producers were perspiring at this point. The pressure was unbearable. The worst part, though, is that if the tapes were leaked, they would not only demonstrate how the producers controlled the situation, they would also demonstrate to the world that reality TV shows are based on manufactured chaos. These shows are scripted, staged, and manipulated to the fullest extent possible. The world was unaware of this, but as soon as news broke about Benzo's alleged tapes, fans and viewers went into overdrive. The public's reaction was intense, especially when the leaked footage began to surface. Let's just say that if you thought the fight between ruthless, but let's take a moment to talk about the real stars of the scandal, Kirk Frost and young Jock. Once adored by their fans for their chaotic lives and love triangles, these two men suddenly found themselves at the center of a scandal from which they were unable to escape. When the fight first aired, fans were shocked and glued to their screens as they watched these two men tear into each other. The video of the fight went viral within hours, and people began drawing their own conclusions about what transpired. Was it a violent altercation between two men who had reached their breaking point, or was it a planned catastrophe meant to? The ambiguity of reality TV keeps viewers guessing, keeps them invested in the drama, and gives them the impression that they are witnessing something raw and uncut. However, when the truth began to leak, the audience was torn and wondered if they could ever trust reality TV again. That wasn't just the fans who were losing trust. The entire industry felt the heat of this scandal, with networks, sponsors, and even other reality stars beginning to question the legitimacy of these shows and how much of what they were. As the scandal involving Kirk Frost and young Jock continues to unfold, it's becoming increasingly clear that their careers and their reputations may never recover. However, what's next for them? And what about everyone else involved in this web of manipulation, betrayal, and exploitation? Let's first break it down and discuss the legal implications. Watching was real, and more importantly, how much of what they were supporting was just manipulation for the sake of ratings? The public's response was nothing short of explosive. The fallout is far more serious than Kirk Frost and young Jock may have thought, even though they may have believed they were just complying with the ratings-boosting scheme. Benzo's leaked footage has revealed a web of corruption and manipulation that extends beyond the fight between these two producers, who are now under investigation. That's right. The public outcry was about more than just Kirk Frost and young Jock. It was about the people behind the scenes. When the world gets a glimpse behind the curtain of reality TV, things can quickly go south. Kirk Frost and young Jock may not be the only ones in trouble. The producers may also be facing civil suits, financial penalties, and possibly even criminal charges for conspiring to defraud the public. If you're wondering what they're going to do about it, let's assume lawsuits. Oh yes, you can bet that the legal teams are already lining up, ready to throw the book at everyone involved. Benzo won't let this slide either. He knows the power he holds now with those tapes in his hands. He has leverage, and he's not afraid to use it. The legal landscape is going to be a nightmare due to fraudulent misrepresentation. We can already picture the lawyers doing everything in their power to try to prevent this catastrophe, but let's face it, Kirk Frost and young Jock will probably end up with a damaged reputation that cannot be repaired by PR. They may attempt to salvage their careers with statements or apologies, but the public won't forget easily. Of course, the consequences don't end there. What about the network and the producers? They are now directly linked to the controversy, and they cannot avoid the backlash investigations. The network executives who approved this entire operation are now under tremendous pressure, and if any of them become involved, it could result in significant shakeups, resignations, possibly fired producers, corporate restructuring. And let's not forget the show itself, reality TV. Investigations and restructuring are all on the horizon. It's not just about the cast anymore. It's about the entire infrastructure that permits these kinds of toxic, manipulative schemes to occur. The producers may have believed they could get away with staging a fight for the sake of ratings, but now they are responsible for everything. What will happen to the network? Will they use this scandal as a chance to clean house, or will they double down and try to cover it up? Only time will tell, but it's not just the show that's feeling the heat. Sponsors and advertisers are already scrambling because reality TV shows are big business, but not when they're embroiled in controversy. Shows like this thrive on the illusion of authenticity. If audiences start to question the legitimacy of everything they're watching, we could see the decline of an entire genre. No one wants to be linked to a scandal of this size, so sponsors may withdraw their funding and advertisers may start looking elsewhere, which would mean fewer opportunities for all parties involved. However, let's take a moment to concentrate on the celebrities. Kirk Frost and young Jock have spent years establishing their careers, but their involvement in this fictitious altercation could their downfall. It's possible that they will never return to the public eye after this, but rehabilitation will take more than a few interviews or an apology. They will need to show sincere regret, take responsibility, and find a way to win back the public's trust. But that's easier said than done. The public's perception of these two men has already changed. They were once viewed as beloved, hated, and most importantly, entertaining reality TV staples. Now, they are seen as puppets who were used by producers for entertainment purposes. While fans may forgive them in the end, the media won't let them off that easy. Kirk Frost and young Jock will have to deal with the fact that they were revealed as pawns in a game they believed they could control. And let's not even discuss the fans who are now doubting their belief. We live in a time when scandalous entertainment is king, and some people love nothing more than a good old scandal. If we're being honest, reality TV fans are cruel and have short memories, but this is something they won't forget. When the curtain comes down and the magic trick is revealed, the fan base may turn away entirely, or perhaps they will return for more. Kirk Frost and young Jock may just find themselves in the same cycle they were in before, continuously being dragged back into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The bigger question here is how Kirk and Jock will recover. Will they rebuild, or will the scandal permanently tarnish them? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This fiasco will have a lasting impact on all parties involved. We're left wondering what will happen when the world realizes how phony the drama is. Will viewers stop watching, or will they remain more interested than ever in the staged chaos? As a viewer, you may have an opinion on this. Are you prepared to watch these two rebuild their lives and careers, or will you move on to the next? Here's the shocking story of Kirk Frost and young Jock, who believed they could stage a fight, for ratings only to find themselves entangled in a web of lies and consequences. Stay tuned because we'll continue to bring you all the juicy details. But before we wrap up, I have a few burning questions for you. Do you think these men can ever redeem themselves? Or is this scandal the beginning of the end for them? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, and remember to subscribe for more insider scoops on the world of fake reality TV drama. Not quite finished yet, so we'd like to know what you think. Do you think Kirk Frost and young Jock can ever move past this huge scandal, or is this the last straw for their reality TV careers? Let's start a conversation, but don't leave just yet. If you thought this story was crazy, wait until you see what we have next. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and become a member of the family because we're just getting started. We have more exclusive content, insider scoops, and the biggest entertainment stories you won't find anywhere else. If not, subscribe, click the bell, and let's continue this roller coaster. Stay tuned, hit the like button, and prepare for the next shocking revelation. See you in the next video as we go deeper into the realm of phony reality TV drama. I'll see you shortly.